Thank you for joining us once again here at Bay Suites. We know you have many questions about loan, about mortgages. How is a loan actually being processed at the bank? So which is why tonight we brought you Alex, the banker from Maybank, as well as our sponsor for tonight's show, Datuk Chua Soon Ping from Bay Suites. But before we start tonight, can I just ask that, as with our other shows, Datuk Chua has been very generous. He's sponsoring tonight an umbrella for all the sharers. The lucky sharers tonight will get to walk away with one of these special umbrellas. It's really big. So can I just ask you to share tonight's talk to all your friends and family? Tag 3 persons, and then you have to type Bay Suite. Type Bay Suite, tag 3 persons, and you can just walk away with one of these umbrellas here. So once again, my name is Elson from Property Hunter. I'm the host again for tonight. I'm joined here tonight by Alex. Alex stands from Maybank Kampung Ayer branch. He's the sales manager from Maybank Kampung Ayer branch, as well as our sponsor for tonight, none other than Datuk Chua Soon Ping.
Hi.
Yes, developer for Bay Suites here in Likas Bay. So if you have any questions for this gentleman tonight, feel free to ask them in the comment box below. We'll pick up the questions. So if your question is being picked up, we have another gift for you again. We'll tell you later. So feel free to ask your questions below in the comment box. So Datuk Chua, there's been lots of your buyers, I think, coming to you and ask you about, raise their loan issues to you. They may have problems with their loan. So maybe you can advise us a little bit on the whole concept of property financing before we go into the bank.
Yeah. Property financing is a major integral part of the property development. It's also associated with the risk. So for property, basically, we will talk about real estate. If you combine real estate and property together, it becomes real property. Why I say real property? Because if you buy 1,000 share of Maybank, it will become a CDS script. It actually certifies saying that you have 1,000 ownership, which you have to pay 7,500. And for owning for a property, is actually you are owning with a title certified that you are actually a subdivided title on the title itself. Is a black dot in the planet of the earth. That's why it's called real property. Something you can tangible hold on and stay where the dot is. And we have actually tonight also just to mention we have 2 types of method of giving to the buyers. Number 1 basically is actually the build and sell, which I actually practice in Australia, whereby you pay a 10%, 90% upon completion of the building. This is what we call build and sell. As the other one basically is practiced in Malaysia, is called sell and build. That basically you actually have to still pay 10% as the progress of the payment certified by architect. You pay according to that schedule of payment. It's called sell and build.
Most of the developers
in Malaysia is sell and build. Basically, actually, the 2 modeling are actually the same. It's just that during that construction, the interest on build and sell basically will be actually is actually the responsibility of the developer, whereby the sell and build, the responsibility of the interest incurred during construction rests with the buyers. So actually, it's all the same. Actually, to me, it's all the same. Depends which method you actually wanted to do it, which modeling you are doing it.
Okay. So since last week, we have actually been gathering questions online. We have asked our fans on Facebook to raise their questions for the banker. Since tonight's talk is all about ask the banker your loan questions being answered. So we've gathered quite a lot of questions. So we're very glad that Alex has agreed to come on here and answer all these questions. So let's drill straight into it. The first question that we have for you tonight is one of the users actually asked, can I get a 95% loan from Maybank for the 3rd house?
Okay, for your question, actually Maybank is looking into extending up to 90% financing for 3rd mortgage loan. 90% is solely on the mortgage price plus 5% MRTA. So together is 90 plus 5.
Okay.
But all the detail will be announced soon.
Okay. And does it apply to everyone, or how does it work? On a
yes,
case to
apply to
case
everyone,
basis.
and the detail will be announced soon.
Okay.
So at this point of moment, we are still looking into it to extend up to 90% financing for third mortgage loan.
Okay. So when outside people, everybody says 95%. So what that actually means is a 90% loan plus a 5% for MRTA.
Yes, correct.
That's generally how it works. So will the purpose of the house affect whether they can get a 90% loan or not?
Yes.
Okay. So the purpose for the property also will affect whether they can get a 90% loan
Yes,
or not?
definitely.
Okay. Right. Is it only applicable to residential properties?
Yes. 90% is only applicable for residential property.
Okay. So far, Datuk Chua,
in a similar fashion, whereby the commercial suite, which we are
Commercial
actually doing now, Maybank actually did offer us 85 plus 5. In other words, it's still 90%, but it's actually 85% loan plus 5% MRTA.
So for commercial suites, the
Yes,
maximum is actually 85%.
So it's 5% less from the residential.
Yes, correct.
So I think it's actually it's wonderful.
It's still very high.
Yeah, it's very high. It's actually
still
90
relatively
plus
high.
5 on residential, 85 plus 5 on commercial development, which is very good, I think.
Okay. Okay. So generally, I think the banks are, after the government announcements on the 90% for third properties onwards, I believe there's all the banks are still waiting for clear directions from Bank Negara. So may have to wait a little bit, but generally, I think other banks like Maybanks, they are quite open to give out loan, provided that the borrowers has good profile and good credit records.
Yes.
So the second question is rather complex. There's this users, they ask, he took out a low interest personal loan for his business purpose. He maintained a very good payment record. So now he is thinking of buying a home using his personal name. So he's asking, will that personal loan he took earlier affect his loan eligibility now that he wants to buy a property?
Yes, definitely. As long as the loan is taken under individual name, it will contribute to the total commitments for the new loan application, regardless whether it is for business or personal consumption purpose. As long as it is taken under individual name, the bank will contribute to the total commitment.
So whatever loan that has taken before, as long as under his name, it will definitely affect the loan eligibility.
Yes, yes.
Have you come across such buyer, Datuk Chua, before?
Yeah, actually, if he's actually taking a personal loan for his own business, we look at the positive way. Maybe actually making tons of money from that business. It can actually contribute more even to the loan
eligibility.
From Maybank and other banks as well. So we look at positively. I think we should encourage, because there's no point just investment on this and then forget about personal business as well. Actually, you can actually group two together.
As long as they can prove there's a regular income from the business to service a loan.
Yeah. Actually, I also encourage a lot of SME to take out the same time you buy a house, you can do your personal business. I think that is especially this challenging time. We should actually look at it positively.
Okay. So if for those of you who are just joining us tonight, I ask that you share this out to your friends and families by typing Bay Suites below and tag 3 of your friends, because tonight Bay Suites is giving out an exclusive umbrella. Is it only blue color or you have different colors?
There's a beige color as well.
There's a beige color as well. It's a very big umbrella that's giving out by Bay Suites. So if you tag 3 friends and you type Bay Suites below, you could stand a chance to win one of this umbrella. Meanwhile, if you have questions, you want to ask one of these 2 gentlemen here tonight, you can mention them in the comment box below as well. So before I move forward, I want to pick Datuk Chua's brain a little bit on financing for developers. We have mentioned a little bit about financing for end users. How does developers get financing?
And financing, basically, as you know, is an EF line. Normally, what we do, we embark at projects. We actually apply to like Maybank, Public Bank, or this bank for the end financing for my, let's say, example for my projects. And on record, basically, when we actually apply, they will be responded, and they actually take from the GDV. Let's say GDV is 300 million. They take 10% of it is 30 million. Give you an example, Maybank are giving us 30 million, but break into two parts. Initially, they give you 19 million. Then later, they give you 11 million. And then when they complete all this EF line offer to our buyers, we have to apply additional. At the moment, we have got another additional facility, and the 10 million is 40 million. So it's about 14-15% of the GDV from Maybank. I'm actually very grateful, Alex. This actually been going on. If it's not enough again, then we're going to apply again.
Sure.
So this is a way how we actually apply end financing to our merchant bankers. Yeah. And as for
sorry, just how you mentioned GDV. GDV means gross.
GDV actually is a gross development value, which is the total income generated. You can take that percentage. And then the GDV, and also we have GDC. GDC is gross development cost. Because why? Because of the we have looked at the end financing. There's another front financing. The front financing, on the perspective of the buyer from the developer, is actually the bridging loan. Okay, how does the bridging loan come in? Normally, the bridging loan is actually given. They take 20% of the GDV. Let's say 300 million, they will give you 60 million. Okay, normally, the rule of thumb, 60 million. But the 6 million, they will actually look at the cash flow generated by the EF they're giving to you, and any shortfall during that construction period for 36 months, the bridging loan will actually come in for that 60 million. This is how actually we bridge it. So bridging loan is actually a very high risk component, whereby I think the banks screen very heavily on our maybe on the location, on the feasibility study of our project, whether viable, all these things. These factors is very complicated, complex. And also, they also ask our valuation, our valuer, to certify the value and how much it's worth, and also the feasibility study of the market. So actually very complex. So normally they take 6 to 9 months to evaluate.
Right.
It's a very difficult task.
Very long process.
Very long process, difficult task. And then this is the way how Malaysia are doing on the property development,
right?
Bridging and end financing.
The reason why I asked you about bridging financing and end financing, because I heard there's this saying that if a project has a lot of bank supporting it, it actually means that the project is quite strong. Is it true from a banker's point of view?
Yes, definitely it's true.
Definitely true. So the more banks they are supporting as either end financier or bridging financier.
We will show the slide later. I think at the moment we have 6 end financing supporting us. And then there's one bridging loan from RHB. We'll show the slide later. Later we're actually going to
we'll go through that details later.
But at the moment, I just want to inform that the property industry itself is a game of leveraging, whereby the depositor give money, deposit money to the banks. They actually, you earn some interest, and whereby the bank give us, let's say, a bridging loan of 60 million, just now I mentioned, that would actually put out, on BLR is 1 or 2%. So work out to be, let's say deposit rate at the moment is 2%, they're lending to us is 7%. So there's actually a game of leveraging. We're also doing game of leveraging because we use banks' money, and with that, we actually combine our effort to put into all this development. This is a game of leveraging. The same thing is EF giving to the end buyers. Just now we mentioned commercial is about 85% plus 5, and the residential 90 plus 5.
90 plus 5.
If the buyer only put in 10%, if at the end of the day they make 30% profit, it's actually counted as 10% of the working capital, which is maybe the profit would be very tremendous.
Very high.
This actually is a game of leveraging.
Yeah.
Okay.
So smart investors should be working very, very closely with banks when buying, especially investing in properties. That's why properties is one of the most interesting, because your capital outflow is so low as compared to other investments.
Especially now, because we talk about property assets is a long-term investment.
Long-term.
It's talking about 25 to 30 years,
Yes.
the period of the financing. And because of that long-term assets, it's actually appreciate almost 6 to 8% per year. So you take the average, if it's 30 years, by the time you actually borrow, let's say 1 million for residential, by the time the year 10, year 15, your property appreciate maybe to 3 million. That by the time you borrow only 900,000, you already pay maybe 400,000, you left with 500,000. The value, the market value after 15 years, it's gone up to 3 million. So actually you can refinance to another maybe two additional million. This actually property asset is always going up. Capital growth is very good. Appreciation. Rather buying cars. This is depreciate and appreciation.
Yeah. Buying cars, very subjective. So let's take another questions. We have quite a few questions from the public already. The next questions we have since we collected last week is this users, he asked, is now a good time to buy a property and apply loan?
Okay, for your question, yes, I would say definitely. No other than now. Now is a very good time to buy a property. You know why? Because interest rate now is very low all times. And if not mistaken, I think the Bank Negara has dropped the interest rate, I think 4 times. During this year. Basically to support the bank activities and to support the industry. So they give a lot of choices to buyers. And also they have the incentives announced by our government under the Penjana stimulus. Example, the exemption of RBGT and the upliftment of 70% LTV for third residential property and above. So I believe now is the right time to purchase the property.
Correct. How long have you been in the bank industry, Alex?
It's almost 11 years.
Almost 11 years. Have you seen something like this happen before?
I think maybe in my lifetime in bank, I don't see I said now the interest rate dropped so a lot during this year.
I think we'll show you the interest rate. How much is actually.
You have the interest rate to show us?
I think okay. I think we just to show you how the banks are actually offering us for base rates. As you can see, is Maybank is at the moment is 25-year tenure period. Interest rate is 3.2%. Public Bank first year is 2.9, and then later 3.13, 25 years.
Wow.
CIMB 3.15, 30 years. RHB 3.3, 25 years. Maybank is actually, we have not updated the Maybank, sorry. The tenure is 25 years. UOB is 3.2, 30 years. So you look at the tenure period is 25 to 30 years. Maybe we can increase a little bit to 35 years on the commercial side. Why? Because now basically we're encouraging a lot of buyers to be actually younger to buy. And when they reach, let's say 70, and then when they're actually buying property at 35 years old, this is actually another 35 years to add on. So basically their installment each month, they can be lower. If actually 10 years, you can allow 5 years.
Is this the latest bank interest rate?
This is the latest base rate, but actually the interest rate is project to project.
Yes, case
subject.
It depends on your later.
So this is only applicable for base rates?
Base rates, yes.
This is your special rate the banks has given you.
But I think for residential is even lower.
Yes, for
this is commercial
the
rate.
interest rate is even lower if
So
compared
just
to
now, just now Alex was mentioning, I never see so low. I think I also confess that I never see so low before.
How long have you been in the development industry?
I think for the last maybe 15 years, But construction, I think the last 20 years.
It's never seen something like that before.
Never seen such before. Which is, I think, is a very good opportunity for us to invest in property. I'm going to invest quite a bit.
Many people
not
are
only
still,
my project and other.
Many people are still not convinced, This is saying that, interest rate.
Challenging time, because of maybe of the moratorium expiry in end of September. They are not very sure, uncertain how the market react or whatnot. But nevertheless, I think it's a challenging time, but the brave one will make a lot of return.
And take advantage of
the brave one will make
opportunity.
A lot of return. Yes, because as you know that the risk versus return on investment. as your risk is higher, the return on investment will be higher.
That's right.
So this is how you actually assess yourself. But I think for the investment portfolio, I think part of the portfolio you can put in is on property. This is the right time.
Right.
But you don't throw everything in one basket. You can actually invest in other things. But property always is part of portfolio. It's a major part of portfolio for investment.
Of course, of course. So if our viewers out there, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask one of these two gentlemen tonight, feel free to ask them in the comment box below. Meanwhile, do share this live feed out to your friends and family and ask them to join us. I think they will benefit a lot from learning directly from the bankers as well as very seasoned developers here on loan issues. So taking on the next questions, we have a quite controversial one. It says that this user says that I was told the bank not keen to do property loan anymore. Is this true?
No. That's definitely not true. Maybank are always open for business to provide financing to qualified and eligible applicant.
Okay.
So
if any of our users, of our viewers tonight, have troubles getting loan, or because the banks are not giving you loan, they all can go to Maybank and try to apply, right?
Yes.
So, Datuk Chua, I think Datuk Chua mentioned before, even in our last live feed, saying that bank is actually also a commercial entity.
Yeah.
So
they also try to meet the shareholders' interest.
And also market conditions.
Yeah.
So of course, I think it is not fair to say that the bank are not keen to lend out money, but rather maybe they become more careful, more strict. The same applies to normal business, isn't it? You know, you don't simply give out credit line to any of your customers anymore during this season.
I think for COVID, the Bank Negara they are actually encourage them to give loans to certain COVID-19 affected industries. The tourism industry, they're actually giving quite a bit.
Business.
Yeah. I think this is very encouraging, which I show you the last episode on the opportunities after new normal. The table is actually one of the legs. Is actually the government giving policies such as the Benjana economic packages, and now we talk about financing is also one of the legs. So if all this can combine together and make the stability there, and then the real estate market is very stable. Otherwise, one the leg losing the other corner, I think it actually will be unstable.
That's true.
This is why the table is actually has to be very solid on the ground.
That's true. Yeah. Datuk Chua, can you show us you have some slides about your buyer's profile and how are they getting their loan?
Okay. I've actually we are grateful. We actually
because these are real examples, right?
Yeah. We actually collected from the buyers almost 380 buyers.
380 buyers.
Pay us about 10,000 each.
Okay.
And out of which there are about 23% rejected by the banks. We require 2 banks to reject us so that we can return back the money. So 23%. The other 5% is booked but have not decided what to do. The other 5% is only 1 bank rejected. We are actually waiting for them to give it another bank rejection. Then altogether, we're talking about our 380, we have 250 signed SPA, which is very good. 67%.
Quite high.
So if you say rejection of loan for us over here in Bay Street is about 28%. 28%.
Is that considered high?
For the industry average, I heard on the average, national average, I don't have the figure here, it's about 50% rejection.
50% rejection.
So in other words, if you have 1,000 units, you have to sell maybe 2,000 units.
Right.
Yeah, that's compulsory because you take 50%. After that, there's another rejection of 50%. You have to sell maybe 1,000 units, you must sell 2,000 units.
So that's not too bad because yours is only about 28.
It's about 1,000 units, and if it's 100 units, I must sell 128 units, which is all right. Okay, you know, below the industrial average. Thank you for all these the FB Live viewers that actually is our investor. I appreciate your effort to buy our property. The same time, on the MRTA, because of the interest that to protect their families, they took out the MRTA from the loan. Just now I mentioned 85 plus 5, the MRTA, 87%.
Most of
overwhelmingly
them
took out the MRTA to protect themselves, and basically to protect their families. Because when they're actually at younger age, it will be actually much cheaper or lower from the insurance.
MRTA basically is an insurance that the applicants take out for the loan.
Yeah.
So in case anything happens to them, the insurance will continue to pay for the full loan. Am I right?
Yes.
But is it compulsory that the applicants must take an MRTA when they go with the bank?
If I'm not mistaken, I was told by one banker saying that in KL, 1 in 2 take out MRTA. But for my project, it's almost 90%.
Almost 90%.
Which is
so what happened to the other 13? They have other form of insurance to cover.
They do not want to because actually it's to do with age.
Oh.
Because as the age is older, the MRTA expenses is much more expensive.
Of course.
Because our buyer basically they are much younger.
Oh. How young are your
buyers? The average, if an age buyer, we actually have some data collected from the buyers. 43% are 35 below. And then if 45 below is 34%. Altogether is 77%. Average age is only 35. So
That's younger than me.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the younger people now know exactly how to invest. They actually invest in properties. We're very grateful. This is a trend. And I hope they can actually, the government should realize that younger generation are investing in property, be it is residential or commercial. This is a good sign. Rather than buy other luxury, this is one part of the portfolio they like to invest, which is very encouraging. So perhaps later, if any of the government servants are looking at it or the bankers are looking at it, maybe you can consider the younger generation below 40 or below 35. The tenure period become maybe just now I mentioned 25 to 30, it become 30 to 35. And then you can limit the age to 70. So this actually will lower down the monthly payment installment paid by the individual. So they encourage younger generation, even younger, 25 to 30, to come in to purchase property, to participate. So because once they go into the society to be employed, their gaji lower. When they actually go older, it's higher. So actually for the younger to come in, maybe tenure period can be extended to 35 to 40 years. That actually you can even get younger generation come. This is an incentive.
Okay.
This should be the way.
Sometimes I also try to encourage the younger generations, my friends, is to start investing young because age is the biggest asset.
Assets, yes.
Right, from a banker's point of view.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
The potential.
You get cheaper insurance, MRTA, because you are younger.
You get longer loan tenure.
You have longer loan tenure.
Installment.
Ends up you have cheaper installment.
Yes. Because of lower.
Yeah, but will interest rate change?
May not. Because basically
has nothing to do with age.
Nothing to do with the interest rate.
But the tenure itself is a big impact because
yes. Because you bring down your installment.
Yeah, the maximum is up to 30.
For residential, up to 35 years.
Residential up to 35 years.
Commercial up to 25 years.
Yeah, so that's a very big impact. So, is this the loan margin just now you mentioned?
For our project, because we set an exact example for my project, it's because it's easier to refer to. If you look at overall the market, basically you have to get consent from the bank, consent from the developer. It's much difficult. So I just get a data, just extract from our projects. To give an example. Actually, for the loan margin, basically a lot of people like to go for maximum.
Yes.
Okay. If the loan residential 90%, they go for maximum.
Is that a good thing?
Because leveraging. It's a game of leveraging. So now the younger generation know how to know the game of leveraging. So for commercial suite like us, a maximum 85. But for those 85 people that investing in our property, going to 85%, out of which 100 buyers, 70 buyers go for 85%.
Maximum.
Maximum. They go for a maximum. There are about 12%, they get about 80%. 12%. So in other words, 80% of our buyers going for 80 and 85%. And because there are some buyers, liquidity very high, the 10% that is cash buyer, the other 10% because maybe third, fourth, fifth properties, they only get 70% margin. So this is the trend, which is, I think, very encouraging.
Yeah. So in other words, the loan application as well as the loan approval is quite healthy.
Yeah. Is it for 1 million property, for $500,000 property, he got $500,000 property, he will not throw in $500,000 cash to buy. They may, $500,000, they might buy 4 properties because of gamma leveraging, as I mentioned. So this is the way how they do it. They don't just buy one, they maybe buy 1 or 2. Not everything from me, because there are many other residential they buy. So this is the way forward.
Okay.
I think the young generation know how to invest.
Right.
Which is very good. It's a good indication.
Yes. I think that's the whole purpose of us doing this forum also, is to educate and to encourage, especially the younger generations, to start considering early. You may not want to buy immediately, but you got to start learning and start preparing yourself, because you have to prepare to go to the bank, right? You cannot just walk in anytime. You have to prepare your financially, so that you're financially ready and capable to get a loan from the bank. So moving on to the next question that we collected is about freelance workers. There's a person working as a freelancer. So he's asking, can he easily apply for a loan to buy a property?
Okay. Basically for non-fixed income earner.
Yeah, non-fixed income earner. So freelancers, it also includes agents, like insurance agents, brokers, property agents, people in entertainment industries.
All those non-fixed income we consider as a non-fixed income earner for those agents, because their money income is not fixed.
Sales
also non-fixed income earner.
Salesperson also non-fixed income.
Non-fixed income earner still can apply for loan to buy a property, but we need to submit all the relevant document or the supporting document to the bank. So we need to justify, and we need to do the assessment, so whether entitled or eligible or not.
I think it's fair. It's fair.
Do you think the bank would normally take an average look of their whole income history?
Yeah, basically we will take at least 6 months. At least 6 months to prove their income. To prove their income. So case to case basis.
Do you have buyers who are non-fixed incomes?
I think we quite a bit, because
salespeople,
they are doing business on, like I say, on tour guide. You know, the non-fixed income, because last few years our tourism industry.
But the income can be very high.
They can be very high. They
but
can
they're
be
just
20,
not fixed.
30,000. They're not fixed at the moment. Maybe there's zero income. You know. So this are thing is you have to balance it up. But nevertheless, I think so long they can have enough relevant supporting documents, I don't think the bank would not want to support them, because basically property, I say, is a long-term asset. Although you take the average for the last 10 years or the next 10 years, they still make a good income. It's all, but it's just that it's non-fixed income. That's all. I think property industry will come back in 1 or 2 years time.
Tourism
Definitely.
Also, tourism.
It's just that now the bank look at it differently. Because pilot, they could have just fly once a month, once a week. So this is, I got one pilot that is rejected, the loan. So basically this is one of the industry that affected the
due to
they only fly once a month, international. How to justify this is why I get non-fixed income. Pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's also, so I hope that answers the questions. Freelancers or non-fixed incomes earners, basically, there's no fixed rules to that, right? So it's a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
And I think all the banks will look at this group of people the same way.
Yes.
I think it all boils down to their income, the ability, income, and bank likes to see stable income. They don't like to see a big fluctuations of income. So the next question we have is from this person is asking, how can I know what's the value of loan I can apply based on my income and commitment?
I think this applies to a lot of first-time home buyers as well, isn't it, Datutra?
Yeah.
That they want to start investing, but they don't know how much a property can they buy because they don't know how to work backwards or how to look at it. What's the advice you have for us, Alex?
Okay, basically, our bank will assess all the application from these 5 key factors.
Okay.
We known it as 5 C's in credit lah. So the first C is character. What is character? Character, normally bank will identify the characteristic of the borrower, such as the history repayment record for the past 1 year. Is it promptly paid or not? All this information and all this assessment, we can get it from the secrets report.
Character refers to the person's
For the person, for the behavior.
the individual
behavior.
like really the character in paying.
And furthermore, our bank also will do the preliminary screening on the borrower background, such as any bankruptcy, any blacklisted, or any court case on hand.
Okay.
So if all of the above are clean, so we will conclude the borrower character is good lah.
Court case also included?
Yes.
So even though it may not be related to any loan, but the person has a court case.
Market checking.
Unless he's guilty.
Yes.
He's found guilty.
Unless he's found guilty. There's a record of it.
Yes.
Unless. Of course, if it's in magistrate court, high court, they can go to court appeal and whatnot.
Yes, correct.
Unless found guilty.
So credit history basically means everything to a bank.
Yeah. I think how to improve it is important.
How do we build our credit history?
I think if
What's
actually
advice
you have for example, my customer are very young.
Yeah.
They just got back graduated. They may be working for the father 1 or 2 years. They normally go for debit card as their student time. They actually go for debit card instead of credit card. Now it's time to apply for credit card because credit card appear in the secrets, not debit card. So they have to build out the history. So you have to start to apply credit card. At the same time, you have not taken any loan. You can actually take out 5,000, 10,000 loan, doesn't matter. Just build out the history. For that history, your repayment must be prompt, and so that it will give you a lot of credit marks that actually carry on for your 5C, which 5C of the credit that's set up by the system, by the thing. So these are actually all reflected on the credibility of the applicants.
The character of them.
So these are actually how to improve it. This actually should be.
So basically, you're just saying that they have to start building a record of their payment history, so that the bank can see that you are a good and diligent paymaster. Repayment on your loan histories.
And the second C is capacity.
Okay.
What is capacity? Capacity is, we can say like this way, how the bank to assess the affordability and the capability of the borrower to repay the loan. So basically bank has their own formula to calculate the debt to income ratio. We know it as DSR, debt service ratio. All your existing repayment plus the application installment divided by your income. So they will get a figure. The figure is the DSR. So once the bank get the DSR figure, then our bank will do the assessment whether is it still within our comfort zone.
What's the average ratio for debt service ratio?
This case-to-case basis. Case-to-case basis, yeah.
Okay.
So this is actually basically on the document that is actually submitted. So it actually enhance the bankers to assess and then give it a loan. So whether you like it or not, this is how, it doesn't matter how rich you are. The document must be supported.
Yes, correct.
Let's say a lot of people, what do you call it, make a lot of money but didn't pay tax. You know what I mean?
I had a friend like that.
So in that case,
no record.
There's no record.
Yes.
But knowing that, how to borrow money, that actually borrow a huge sum of money to buy your house. You know, these are the things. But he or she does not want to appear in the market saying that he buy a lot of cash to buy because just in case the IRB
Visits.
visiting. So these are the things. So these are one of the things that we like to address. Maybe we have to build up the history.
Yes.
History so that the bank can access and then lend you the money. Be comfortable with it.
Yeah, but also I think when Alex mentioned the debt to income ratio, that basically means you have to prove that you have a healthy, more income than your debt. In the simple terms,
to prove that you are afford to pay the loan.
You still can
I think
pay the loan.
sometimes you have to ask your father. The best thing is the other, your siblings.
Yeah.
To either to improve that ratings.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to reach wide, also okay. Your family also can improve it.
Yes,
Yeah.
rich wife definitely can help. So these are the five good tips I think that Alex is gradually sharing. So out of the 5 he has shared with us, number 1 is the character, and number 2 is capacity.
Yes.
This is how the bank look into it, and it may sound very generic, but this is basically as simple as it is. This is how the bank works. This is how the bank look at you.
Yes.
Isn't it? So moving forward, what's the third C that you mentioned?
Okay, the third C is capital.
Right.
Capital is how much liquidity asset or how much investment asset that you have, how much money you have lah.
Okay.
In the simple way.
Okay.
So in the liquidity asset, it can in the form of share, fixed deposit, your saving, your current account balance.
So basically cash.
Basically cash lah, liquidity asset lah. So actually bank view the capital as an additional comfort when we are assess the application.
Okay.
This is because when your income or your revenue being interrupted while the loan is still in the repayment, but at least you still have the substantial saving to cushion the repayment, to pay the repayment. This is very important. So the more liquidity asset that you show to bank means the more confident that you give to the bank to assess your application. This is what we call capital.
Yeah, I think sometimes you hit lottery. I think it's one of the lottery that you actually show them. This is how I hit lottery and how I can show to the bank. It's another income generated.
Yes.
So actually, basically, they talk about personal investment in the property.
Yeah.
If actually insufficient, just go back to father again.
Okay.
Father, siblings, or gift from grandfather.
Yeah.
All these things, I think you can show.
Yes.
Even that you actually previously buy a lot of shares, they make a lot of money, it's still in there. Like now, the glove, they're making a lot of money.
Yes.
They can show that I've actually bought $5, now it's $25.
Yeah.
That is part of to show you that how much money you make. For example, I buy 5 lots of Maybank 10 years ago. Now it's making tons of money, dividend. You can show it to the bank. This is one of the things. Or even.
But isn't share very volatile?
I think they also take it up.
What?
Yes.
Today you look at me because I have the glove share. I look very rich. But tomorrow, if the glove shares drop, then I'm no longer that cash rich. It's very volatile. Yeah. But they still take shares into consideration as liquid.
As long as the liquidity asset, so you take it as good.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So the fourth C is collateral.
Collateral.
Collateral. What is collateral? Collateral normally means property lah. Property that you want to charge to bank as a security to get a loan.
Okay.
Can be in residential property, commercial property, warehouse, even vacant land.
Land also.
Even vacant land, yeah. All this we treat it as our collateral.
I think it's a safe collateral. Property also is safe collateral because, as I said, the capital growth there 6 to 8% per year average. You take it for long term, 10 years, 20 years. I think they're very comfortable with it because I appreciate. But your loan will not appreciate. Your loan stay at let's say I go to borrow 1 million this year. For 20 years, after 10 years, perhaps the loan size has which is the repayment for the last 10 years. I already pay 400,000, still got 600,000. But your property already appreciated. So in that proportion, property is always a good asset as a collateral to the bank.
But when you say asset, property means it's a loan-free property?
Not necessarily loan-free property. If you want to purchase a property, refinance.
Refinance is one of the ways.
Yeah.
What if I want to get a loan and the bank asks me for collateral? Can I get Datuk Trust property as a collateral for my loan?
The property.
third party
Third party
charge.
property.
But I have to check the relationship.
Yes. There's many other area that we need to take into consideration.
So it's possible.
It's possible,
but
yes.
but you have to maybe show clear relationship.
I think I've actually come across whereby they use the company asset to own their personal, which is he's the boss of that company.
Yes.
They use the asset as a collateral.
Collateral.
They're allowed. Huh? They're allowed. Or your personal property charged into your business for your business loan. They do that as well. Yeah. Actually, we see it must be related.
Okay.
Your sibling, I think.
So I cannot take your
father,
property.
I don't think the relation must be there.
It must be justified.
Otherwise, in case we quarrel,
Yes,
these are things.
Then he take his property
Yeah,
and go
yeah,
away.
that's one of the things.
Okay, so that's collateral.
Yeah, collateral.
Okay, good. So what's the final C you have for us?
Okay, last but not least, the last C is
Mm.
condition. Condition, normally we are refer to the purpose of loan, whether in you purchase the property for own occupation or for investment purpose. Then also the loan amount that you want to request from the bank. Let me give an example. You purchase a property in the selling price of 1 million, and you part finance from the bank for 50% margin, which means 500,000. You buy 1 million, you only want to loan 50% margin, 500,000. That means you need to fork out your own money, 500,000 as a deposit to go through the transaction. So this low margin of margin finance, our bank normally will look as extra comfort. So this is also give an extra point lah. Yeah, give extra point.
So meaning that person is not always looking for the maximum
compared to max margin, because you have fork out your own money to buy the property. This means you put a lot of commitment toward the loan. So basically it's good like if your margin is low. So if any one of the purchaser you meet all the 5C as I said just now, so the application will consider as a quality loan. But I'm not saying it's guaranteed approved, but the approval rate is high.
Chances are high.
Yeah.
Chances are high.
Most of our buyers are qualities.
Yes.
That's why they get the loan.
But how does the purpose of the property affect the loan? Just now you say, when it comes to the conditions, right? You say the purpose of the loan, whether it's for investment or for own stay.
If you buy the property for own occupation, definitely you put extra commitment toward the loan, isn't it? Because you buy it for your own staying.
You will live in.
Yeah, you will staying there. So
it looks more favorable.
Look more favorable, yeah.
Because you're actually living in, take it as a home. You will not try to sell as an investment product. If you sell investment product, maybe 5 to 10 years you sell, but your home will never sell because you are saying
not so soon.
Sell. But I think that's what he meant.
Yes.
Buying a home is actually more permanent.
Okay.
Rather investment is come.
Has your buyer came across any funny conditions that the bank has imposed?
I think the bank so far is very fair in a way. It's only the risk side on their banks. From now, like say the condition of business, if actually
because of economic conditions,
now tourism is badly affected compared to 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if you're a pilot, I always give you this example as pilot. Pilot 2 years ago with a high pay, you can buy 2 or 3 properties. But now, pilot only fly once a month. I think it will be very difficult for the banks to accept non-fixed income on that because of the condition of the business. It's badly affected. 2 years down the line, 1 or 2 years when the economy is good, the tourism is actually very good in Sabah. I think they also continue to launch the pilot.
Yes.
Like you say, bank is also a business.
Yeah. We got no choice.
Bank is also a business.
Yeah, they're always saying that, but because we are giving umbrella away, and then the bank try to take the umbrella away when it's raining. They always say that. Not me, but always say that. It's a saying. Yeah, a joke aside.
Okay, we have one more questions. That should be the final questions for tonight. Is it approval for loan application now smooth? So I think what it means that is it easier? Is it still easy to get a loan
I think same
from
thing with
bank now?
Yeah,
Pretty similar to the questions we answered
basically
below.
this question is similar like the earlier question. Maybank are always open for business for those entitled and eligible customers.
stringent condition.
I think the question is not about whether the bank wants to give it out or not. It's about the profile of the borrowers.
Yes.
5C.
Yeah, go back to the 5C. So I think these are the 5Cs are the main 5 tips that you should walk away with tonight. If you don't remember anything that we've talked, please at least try to remember the 5C. So if your profile is good, just answering these questions from the users, if your profile is good, your application will be very smooth.
Yes.
Because bank loves this kind of borrowers.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't it? They know that you can repay.
Important.
Yeah.
Actually, for bank loan, 5C is very important. So it's about submission of documents.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the TV program in China, they actually for perfect match, they talk about 3C as well.
Yeah.
Because the mother-in-law, father want to assess the future son. As a son-in-law, whether you are having 3C. First is a condo, car, and last one is the cash. 有房吗？有吃吗？有现金吗？ So these are actually the same thing as the bank asked for 5C. It's 2 more C. I think it's the same thing. Anywhere you go, basically is even 5C exists in also America or even in England. I think the 5C is still is a requirement for bank loans. It's not just Malaysia. I think it's 5C international.
But I think our government, together with Bank Negara, is considered quite supportive towards the bank industry and to the public in general when it comes to loan, especially during this period, isn't it?
Yeah.
By giving out, supporting SME, moratorium.
I think we need to look at the whole situation again, because before MCO or after MCO, and after MCO, and then some of the as I said, condition of business like tourism badly affected, like if you're actually involving in medical device, all these things, the business will actually going up, export industry will going up, and then all this. Well, look at the condition of business. Things change before MCO and after MCO.
Yes.
So the assessment from 5C or from the individual applicants, the assessment from the bank are different altogether. At the same time, they also want to make sure that the loan they give away is stable income from the applicants. So I think, because it's challenging time, we have to give a little bit of time for the bank. Maybe after the moratorium, we assess the whole situation. But I also wanted to let the viewer know, property is still a good portfolio for you to invest, especially now. We look at positively, the loan interest is pretty low. Just as I mentioned, it's 3 to 3.3. I think this residential will be much lower than 3%.
Yes.
So this is
the lowest,
plus the HRC extended to you, and also the LTV, and also the RPGT tax. All these are basically an incentive given by government.
Yes.
They're actually for the HRC, especially HRC for primary market. If you buy directly from the developer, it will last until 31st of May next year. So take advantage of the situation, because I estimated 1 million property, you can actually save about 24,000 just for the MOT, not to include all this gift and discounted by the developer, plus the what they call it, the stamp duty on the loan agreement. All this is another 50,000. So all these packages coming is more than 12%, 13%. So I think it's a good encouragement or good incentive for people to buy residential property on the HRC.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a way forward. But I don't know. So it's up to the buyer to look at it, to assess which project you like and whatnot. This is actually on the part, if you can apply to a bank loan from Maybank, it's the largest bank in Malaysia. I think Sabah also very active. They actually engaged 6 branches to do my EF line in my Bay Street example. So that support services is very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the bank also want to do business. It's not they cannot stop and then don't lend because a lot of deposit are coming in. They need to lend it out. So they are looking for a good profile from our buyers and from people who want to invest in property. The 5C is very critical. With a good statement, with a good application, with a good intention to buy, I don't think any reason that bank want to reject your loan. Yeah.
Talking about HOC, if any of you are keen to know more about HOC, Datuk Chua also had a session last month talking specifically on HOC, the home ownership campaign. So you can scroll down to Bay Suite's Facebook page, the video from the previous session, there you can learn more about HOC and what are the benefits inside and how can you take advantage of that for this period as well. So I think that's pretty much we have the time for tonight. Anything else gentlemen, would like to add?
Alex?
No? Alex, I think he will say, if you want to apply for a loan, please come to Maybank branch in where?
Kampung Ayer, Jalan Pantai.
Kampung Ayer, Jalan Pantai. So the branch in...
Jalan Perpaduan, sorry.
Jalan Perpaduan. Jalan Pantai is your original branch, isn't it?
Yes.
It's closed for renovation. Yeah. So once again, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Alex from Maybank in Kampung Ayer branch. As well as our great sponsors, Datuk Chua, developers for Bay Suites here in Likas Bay. So if you'd like to know more about these new upcoming developments here, there's already ongoing up to what? Level 4 already, the 4th floor.
Before MCO is actually 1st floor, now going out to 4th floor. Because China State is very fast. They never stop. They never stop.
Okay. Yeah. So if you'd like to know more about Bay Suites, the new projects, I'm sure Datuk Chua is, as generous as he is, he's always giving out good package and good discounts. Come to visit them here at...
There's a showroom operate by Next. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 to 3.
Where is the showroom?
It's downstairs at the Bay 21 ground floor.
Next to
Orange.
Yeah.
Next to Orange.
Yeah. Next to Orange. So just drop by. There's people over weekend, right? Yeah. Every weekend.
It's 10 to 3.
10 to
Friday,
3.
Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. Or if you like private appointment, just send us a message here in the Facebook. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, joining us.
For next month.
We'll see you again next month on the 9th of September for the next session again with Datuk Chua. All right. So thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Good night.
you.